So the topic today, I know you are all entrepreneurship students. And these three words, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship, almost comes all the way together. Now, most important thing as you go into the industry is about competitive advantage. What is your competitive advantage? Right? So that is the key question. The creativity, innovation, and even entrepreneurship is the foundation to some work that you will be doing. So I'll share with you three things as we go forward. So obviously, first I have to acknowledge Star College for the invitation and the opportunity here to share with you. And I hope I will be able to take my 30 years of experience and give it to you in 45 minutes.
Oh my!
So I will try 30 years of experience and give it to you in 30 minutes. So a little bit of a background. I know Dr. Lai has touched about it. I'll touch about myself briefly. I'm from Penang. I don't know how many of you are from Penang.
I'm not from Penang.
For some time with the company in the blue, top right there, maybe too long in Intel. And through my career, half of my experience has been in Silicon Valley. So I was fortunate enough to spend quite a number of years in Silicon Valley and coming back here to do national service, I call. So I am right now attached to MDEC, but I will be leading MDEC like end of this September. So along the journey, I have always been a dream to help Malaysia move from a user of technology to a creator of technology. So that has been a dream that myself personally would like to do. Because when I was like you, 35 years ago. So I was in a class like you 35 years ago. That was a long time. So 35 years ago, I was like you, and I was a student. And as a student, one of the things that I have learned over 30 years of experience have been a lot of things because we got to go global. But the key thing is just going to be what impact you bring to the world. What impact you bring to the world. Because when I was in Intel, for a long time, we did something to it. I'll tell you the story. Here is all about storytelling. And then I am compelled to work for the government 8 years before I go back to the US. One of the things is to try to help this country, and you guys are the future. Whatever it is you, not us. We have passed our shelf life. It's you. And one of the things, I don't know how many of you have taken class on TRIZ, Dr. Yu and a few of the people here have been promoting it. We are the people who founded TRIZ in Malaysia Association, and we're spreading it Southeast Asia. And recently, over time, we have decided to spin off a company which is called InnoPlanet. The dream of making something old new is what we have pulled a group of consultants together. So those two people in TRIZ, we bring them together and we're offering technical consulting. So that is a company that I do run, besides all the other 4 blocks of experience. So enough of this, but the key thing is how many of you here, your father or mother were degree holders? How many of you here were the first in your family that somehow finished in a college? I wasn't. I was a bit unfortunate, but to me, I grew up as the first person in the family to basically get a degree. And it carries with you a lot of burden. The burden is all about passing on the learning to your siblings and also making sure that your siblings are successful. Here, what I like to do is to make you successful. This 45 minutes is not for me, it's for you. Because it's all about making you successful. Right? So that's most important. So, in our talk, I like to spend a lot of time in the real stuff. The first thing as an entrepreneurship and you must do is always a term called benchmarking. How many of you know the term benchmarking? here know the term kiasu? You know, right? So the benchmarking is a term in simple language here in Malaysia or us is kiasu, as well kiasi.
Kiasi.
To some extent. So what I like to do is for you to see 3 companies. When I grew up the last 30 years, it affected me. These 3 companies, when I grew up like you, affected my life. It may not be exciting to you because the company that affect you are Google, and the company that affect you are Facebook, and the next company that will affect you is maybe Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
You know, this is a company that affect you, but I like to share my experience because these 3 companies affected me because they drove me to where I am today. The first company, obviously, here is Intel. And there are always 3 things that I want you to always look at them. What invention did that company do? Who were the entrepreneurs at that time who bring the company to success? And what put that company 50 years of leadership? They are not just number 1 for 1 year, they have been number 1 for 50 years. And I was fortunate to help them be number 1 for 20 plus years. It's very tiring, but I helped that company to be number 1 for 20 of the 50 years. Right, so now that's the question that we have to ask. What did they invent? Integrated circuits, computers, or CPUs today. There were 3 people that came together for 50 years that bring 3 things: creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship to the world. That changes the world. Today you have handphone and many other things, tablets and smartwatches and all that because of these 3 guys. But they were not the first to invent integrated circuit, but they were the one that bring the benefit to the world. Right? So, but the key questions I want you to strike out that 3 words is to ask the other question. Replace creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship with 3 other words. What value did they add to the world? How did they find the customers? And lastly, how do they stay as leaders? Put that 3 words aside and keep asking yourself, if you're an entrepreneur and you become a company boss eventually, ask yourself this question. What value are you bringing to the world? How do you find your customers? And how do you stay number 1 in your market segment? That's the 3 key questions, right? So now, here, this company, while they invented integrated circuit, they bring to the world computers. We all know that. But what keeps them number 1 is a principle. You guys are engineers, right? Moore's law. Where the transistors will double every 24 years. But if you're not an engineer, don't worry about it. What are they pursuing here? They are actually talking about miniaturization, making things smaller and smaller and smaller. That's all it is. The trend here to keep them number 1 is to make things smaller. Right? So no, let's not worry about the Moore's law. Put Moore's laws aside. And when Moore's laws ended, what will keep that company going is to make things smaller, thinner, lighter. That's where the motivation factor is. Once you have made one invention, you bring value to the world, what keeps you number 1? This is it. Making things small. That is what the company does. They will never make things bigger than the previous generation. Something for you to observe, because here, I want you to use your observation skills. The next company that drove me through my last 30 years has been Walt Disney. Walt Disney has been around how long?
100 years.
90 plus years. This is not, we talk about history. Intel, 50 years. Walt Disney, 90 plus years. I grew up respecting this company a lot, and it drives me. Because I like to watch the cartoon. Even though I am an old man, I still go back and watch the cartoon. Right? So now, it starts with what? It wasn't Mickey Mouse. It was a rabbit. It was a rabbit, but the success came with a mouse. And the guy that bring this, we know him, is Walt Disney, but they have been successful for now how long? 90 plus years. This is not just success in 9 days, 9 months, 9 years, 90 plus days. What is the secret? What is the secret of Disney? Why are they pushing themselves? What makes them push themselves harder? You want to see? They are in the business of entertainment. Animated entertainment. What was the first animated movie feature ever produced by Disney? Can anyone here know the title of the show? What show is that?
I'm not a fan of Disney.
Google, you can Google. In this class, you can Google. Maybe Dr. Lai doesn't allow you to Google, but you can Google. So Google and say, what was the first Disney animated movie? Never mind, it's okay, yeah? You're not connected. It was Snow White. Snow White was the first movie that they made, and the year was 1937. Between Snow White to Frozen, which was 2013, how many animated movies did they make? 94 over 77 years. Some of them make it, some of them don't. As an entrepreneur, what I'm trying to drive at is, first, you need to benchmark. Second, you need to know what drives you. In Intel, make things smaller. In Disney, they try to entertain you using the latest technology. Let's go back in time further. Let's go back in time, because here it tells you that it comes with hard work. Disney's success also comes with hard work. It's not that every movie they bring, they will be successful. There are also failures. There are also failures along the journey. So don't give up. If you think that Intel is successful all the time, no. The success rate is what? Do you know what is the success rate of Intel?
50?
30%.
Huh?
So for every 3 new product they bring out, only 1 becomes a star. Do you know your success rate right now?
0.
Not 0. You have more confidence in this one. How many here are
Benjamin.
English Premier League fan?
Whoa.
Some of you, right?
Oh.
Last season, which club won the championship? Leeds United. Leicester City, right? And what was the odds that the 1 over 5,000? That is exactly where you are. Your odds is now 1 over 5,000. So if you have 5,000 students here, only one of you is going to be a star. That's how scary it is. But then, how do you move from 5,000 to 1 to the standard of Intel of Disney? Because Disney's success rate is also 30%. Every 3 movie that they bring, only 1 is going to be a star. There were bound to be 2 that is not going to get a lot of good response. So by now, you need to improve your odds from 5,000 to 1 to 3 to 1 so that I will invest in your company. Do you want me to invest in your company? Yes, I like to invest in your company. But I will tell you, I will reject 499 times. 9,499. Because I'm looking for that high potential award. This is where. The question is, when you go out to the industry, you work for somebody, they will not give you that luxury. If you are your own boss, also Don't take that risk. Work harder. Work harder. Let's take a look at another company that drives me.
Coca-Cola.
I grew up with this company. If we have 3 hours, I will show you what they are actually good at. I grew up with Coca-Cola. I grew up with McDonald's. Right? The first thing I want to drink is Coca-Cola. But actually, Coca-Cola wasn't the first in Malaysia. Every Chinese New Year, for people like my age, it was Sarsi and orange bottle. If you know the F&N bottle, and people bring in the crate in glass, that was what we look for every year, Chinese New Year. It wasn't Coca-Cola. But over time, Coca-Cola is #1 for some. People can challenge that. But what is inside Coca-Cola?
Medicine.
Sugar, water, and CO2. Basic sugar, syrup, water, CO2, but a big company. That's all about creativity. But where lies the creativity? Where do they put their money to be creative so that they become #1? Is it in product development? Do they change the secret every year?
No. Packaging.
Do they change the packaging every year?
Yes.
Yes and no. Where do they put their investment in creativity?
Footballs.
In where?
Footballs.
Advertising. Alright, so in advertising, because that's where their leadership.
Mãi
How
gì
many
mà
years?
đâu có ad.
130 years. Cough syrup become a drink. 130 years. This is what we're talking about. If we have Google, you all take this snapshot and I want you to go home as a homework and watch these 3 movies. The first advertisement that hit the world in Coca-Cola, I grew up trying to teach the world to sing. That's what we say. We like to teach the world to sing. Second is Hello Happiness. Share a Coke, share a feeling. Share a Coke, share a feeling is the latest. An advertisement in Kenya.
What happened? So.
And please watch number 3. Please watch number 2 and number 3 right now. Because I just didn't link up. You all turn on your phone, share with your friend. I'll give you 3 minutes. Share with your friend. Watch this too. YouTube and watch this too.
No
And I want you
money,
to tell
no.
me what you observe with this 2
No battery.
video or these 2 advertisements.
Hỏi à.
Please share with your friend for those who are connected.
Okay. 钱不能写。
If we have more time, I will let you watch and I'll explain in detail.
Generally not that good. 可是还有送那个 HBR 黑色的。好像有，送这张大。他们 unboxing。我看了，那里有像声音的。我看你要看 Coca-Cola。
It's okay, yeah? I will explain to you. I know you will have a fun time searching with me. You take a snapshot of this and go back and take a look. I'll explain to you what it is. In video number 2, what they do is that they change the Coke bottle so that the foreign worker can make phone calls. Remember that one? Right? So the cap bottle become a coin that the foreign worker can make phone calls. The last one, it's about a message on the bottle. It's about a boy in school liked a girl and he tried to use the bottle as a message for the girl.
Throw a bottle.
Alright, so that's quite new. And that was rolled out in
WeChat.
Observe this too. The investment of this advertisement is in the developing countries and the third world. They are only hitting this video for the people in the third world, not for you. Because they are converting all the third world citizens to drink Coke. So they keep going out to what they call emerging markets. Their focus is to be creative in advertisement, targeting emerging market only. Occasionally they entertain you, but that is the prime target. Emerging markets is what they are looking at. So when we look at the tree, put a box together, ask yourself what value did they add? How do they find the customers? And how do they stay ahead as a leader? You benchmark that. So you take a look at it. Intel is all about bringing you new technology, new gadget, smaller. Disney, it's about entertaining you with using the latest technology. And they are all into making you happy. And Coca-Cola, less worried about matured market, they focus on emerging market. Their creativity is in advertisement. Not about packaging, not about product, it's about advertisement. Let's take a look at somewhere local. I'll show you 3 companies again doing the same thing. Because you are going to be an entrepreneur. The first thing you want to be, if this is a product you're bringing to the market, I want you to use this process called benchmarking at the highest business level. And take a look at AirAsia. How long has AirAsia been around? Do you know? The answer is up there. 23 years already. It's not just yesterday. It has been around for 23 years. It's a long time. What I'm trying to prove to you is entrepreneurship takes time. Right? It's not something that overnight you'll be successful. Who started it?
Not him.
Tony Fernandez. What invention or innovation did they bring to the industry? Cheap fare. Did they invent that?
No.
What really is AirAsia market? Do you know? They are the largest tour agent. Their actual business is a tour agent. Because all their locations that they fly to are all tourist spots. And any of the capital that they fly to is by the way. Because I have the airplane. What they are doing to you is to be the biggest tour transport. Whether you know it or not, this is how they plan their business. For instance, what value do they add to you? Low cost, because every time you fly to another country, would you fly MS?
Yes.
Would you fly Asia? Maybe. But there are other competitors coming in, right? But they are just strictly competing with low cost airline, but not a tour agent. That is a difference. And there is a difference in value add to that. You must see through what exactly the value they bring to the market. Let's take a look at one more. Do you know this?
Yes.
Do you know this guy?
Nope.
Who is his number 1 competitor?
KK is it?
You don't know, right? You know, for some of us who grow up, we used to have sundry shop near our house. And when we buy stuff, we go to the sundry shop. After a while, a lot of these sundry shops have to close down. Why? Because the big giant supermarket comes along. And along the way, there was another convenience store that comes about. 7-Eleven. And the home sundry shop were threatened. The home sundry shop were threatened, and some of them closed down. What is the success recipe of this company? Convenient. 7-Eleven is convenient. Lower price. Have you compared the product that they carry and the product that 7-Eleven carry? What is the difference?
Foods.
Go back and do the homework. Let them do the homework.
Oh,
We'll give them the answer. Because it's our local company. You must know. Because they are already in the market almost close to 30 years. You only see them recently. What makes them grow so fast?
Transports.
What makes Speedmart 99 grow so fast?
Laziness of humans.
Huh? Convenient, no, franchise. He wants to grow in size, economy of scales. Because convenience and cost can only be advantage when he have economy of size, scale. You know. If you don't have economy of scale, you cannot compete on cost. If you compare the product line in Speedmart 99, the bill of material, the numbers of items is less than 7-Eleven. For every one that is exactly the same is of a lower cost. But those that is different, it's up to you. But anyway, 7-Eleven is struggling, right?
Yep.
Because Speedmart is now everywhere, including the rurals. They are everywhere. So these are things that I want you to observe as an entrepreneurship. You must observe. Huh? Right? So now, let's take a look at one more. Nelson, corn on the cuff. What is the success of this guy? What is the success of this guy?
Corn.
Why is he so successful? Have you eaten this?
10 years ago.
Huh? 31 years ago, before you were born, my mother already consumed this. He's the biggest corn exporter in Asia right now. He only ships to China market. What is his success? What is his innovation? Corn, put butter, put salt, sell it. It's almost like Coca-Cola, right? You can make it, even though it is not rocket science. But there is a way. So out of the 6 companies that I showed you, which one is business to consumer? Which one is business to business?
Business to business.
There is a difference between reaching out to business to consumer and business to business. You will see, this is B2B, this is B2C.
Consumers.
This is B2C. This is also B2C. Here, 2 of the 3 is B2C, only 1 B2B. If you're a technology creator, you will stay in B2B. If you're an end product producer, you will always go into a B2C mode. The question right now is, where do you want to be? Are you creating technology? Are you using technology? If you're using technology, B2C. If you're creating technology, I want to talk to you because we are talking about B2B. Because Dr. Lai, his personal interest, since I know him from Nemo's day, it's all about technology creation. Because in technology creation, we only talk B2B. Business to business. What is the business to business margin? What is Intel margin? Anyone here knows what is Intel margin?
Intel margin.
What is the corn in the cup margin?
1 ringgit.
What percent? How many percent?
1 ringgit.
I'll tell you, Intel margin is 60%.
60.
Corn in the cup margin 3%. So where do you want to be? Do you want to be B2C, doing a lot of transaction, earn little margin, but you have to have economy of scale? Or do you want to be a technology creator, earning 60% of the margin, and you work on 1, 2, 3? The key thing is, you sell convenience, make it easy, all 3 of them, local companies. You get close physically to your customers because you're B2C, and you grow by regional and franchise. So these are the trends. If you are, most of you, our chances is B2C, apply these 3 strategies. Alright, no choice. Because a lot of you will be using technology. Please take this, take a snapshot, remember this for the rest of your 30 years. Alright, so I know you all talk about 4Ps, product, place, price, promotion. I don't want you to worry about this today. What I'd like you to do is you. Right? Let's not worry about the product and the innovation. The question is you. Do you want to work for people? Or do you want to be your own boss? When you take entrepreneurship class, I hope you want to be your own boss because
I don't want to work.
I make you a billionaire.
I want people work for me.
Where do you want to be?
I don't want to work.
Right, what's the secret? I know I'm rushing through the rest of the slides because of time, but again, I have maybe 10 more minutes.
Huh?
Right, so what I will do is I will show you, it's an exercise, the relationship of creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Always gather the information through benchmarking, like what I just did. Prepare yourself and start small. These are the 3 things that I'll leave with you. So these are the 3 things that you must always do. Gather information, equip yourself, and start small. This is your chart, 5,000 to 1. If you find the right problem, this is a study that we have done. Your success rate right now is 5,000 to 1. What we are trying to help you is for those learning TRIZ from Dr. Yip, your chances go up to 30%, 3 to 1. If you do the right problem and you are able to apply the solution, your risk is lowered. Your success rate increased, 3 to 1. That's what we are trying to do to you. That's why we are trying to help our college to be a leader in TRIZ, because most of the time it's in the process. You need to get from 5,000 to 1 to 3 to 1. It's about efficiency, it's about lowering your risk and increasing your success, right? So you need to switch from trial and error to a more structured process. This is what all these companies do. If you think that Disney makes their movies in trial and error approach, I'm sorry, they have a template. I will bring the next guy, Malaysian, who works in Disney, is teaching a class how to do a movie a la Disney style. It's a Bukit Batajam guy. So I can bring him here and we can talk about how Disney makes movies. And he will show you only 6-step process. Predictable. But the bad thing is every time you see a Disney movie, you know what is next. Because you know their process. So that's a negative, become not so entertainment. Then find big value, complex and inventive problem, and you need to predict the future using some creative tools. So how to make you more creative and innovative? I know Dr. Yu may have touched this. You did learn TRIZ?
Yep.
Then I'll skip through this. What I'm trying to do is to tell you, take a look at this picture.
Girls.
Try to list them down. Then you say, okay, again, how many? I'll skip through this. And then the point is, you take a look at one, then how many things do you see?
Girls.
A lot of things, right? You can see a lot of this thing.
Story.
You keep expanding. The point is, because of time, I'll skip through this. This relationship, the secret sauce. Many to one, one to many. It's all about this. It's all about many to one, one to many. So those are all exercises. Those are all exercises. And one of the tools the TRIZ people use is called the 9 windows. Did Dr. Yu teach you 9 windows? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we have more time than I can, but today I won't do it. So what we do is, if you look at the forecast, of the World Economic Forum that came out 2 weeks ago, what it's saying is that in 2015, which was last year, and that was forecasted in 2010, these were the top 10 skills that you must have. What they're predicting is in the future, these are the 3 key ones that is needed. So you need to solve the right problem. Whether you work or become an entrepreneur, you need to have creative thinking, you need to have critical thinking, and the rest will come. So focus on this 3. Because the question is, where is Malaysia? In our PISA scores in terms of problem solving, we are not that good. We are among the lowest. we need to improve their skills. So this is an area that I want you guys to put more effort in outside of school. I know schools prepare you a certain level, but learning creative thinking, problem solving, creative thinking, these are all things that you have to do. As an entrepreneur, very much needed. Right? So here's one for you to take home. Again, I wanted to share with you the 9 windows. I will skip this. Alright, I will skip the 9 windows. I'll let Dr. Yip teach this in class. But I just want to close with this. When we take a look at the companies, whether it is Intel, Walt Disney, or Coca-Cola, whether you are AirAsia, Schema 99, or Corn in the Car, these are the 3 things that you always pay attention to as an entrepreneur. You need to listen to your customer, voice of customer, voice of product, voice of technology. So these are the 3 things that you must remember. How do you remember this? Let me share with you a story. I'm going to end. Let me share with you a story. How many here know a guy called Henry Ford?
Yes.
In his era, if he used voice of customer, he goes out to his customer and asks the customer, what kind of transportation would you like to have? What kind of customer feedback will he get?
Horse.
He will get a faster horse that eat little and shit little. You understand? So now, if that you use voice of customer, the response from your customer is going to be like that. But he didn't take that. He uses voice of technology. What was ready at that time? Combustion engine was ready. So he took the technology evolution, created a product. What is that? A car. So a voice of product is the car. The voice of technology is the combustion engine. The voice of customer is you have to change the customer from horse to engine. So be very careful. If you're a technology creator, if you're a product developer, don't use voice as a guide. But if you are out there already, want to improve incremental improvement, okay, for you to use voice of customer. But the success, when we do the investment, we will look at your product that is in the middle. If you can bring technology, product, and customers together, we will give you the money. But not so simple, because there are 3 other boxes, 1 more boxes that you need to consider. Voice of competitors. You need to understand your voice of competitors. While you have talked about customer, technology, product, before you go to the market, take a look at the competition landscape. Who are you affecting? For Intel, who is their customer? Or who's the competitor now?
AMD.
Not anymore.
Snapdragon.
There is somebody else.
MediaTek.
Right? So now you have to think about it. That is very important, the voice of competitors. We call it voice of competitor. And when I work with Intel, this is a nightmare for us. Every day we look at these 4 blocks. Not just 4 P's, but this is what we look at. And I want to introduce 2 other circles to you to make your life really hard.
Practice.
Voice of business, voice of market is 2 that are added. And there are 3 more. Voice of supplier, voice of investors, and voice of regulators. These are the 9 circles. When you are going out there as an entrepreneur, watch out for them. Today we don't have much time, and if we have more time, I will show you what each of the bubble means. How it will affect, and if you come in, we will try to do some form of a mentorship. We will help you in terms of when you're ready to bring the product to market. Because sometimes regulator can make a lot of difference to your product. They can agree or not agree, and you have to lobby for their support. Right? So these are the kind of stuff that I want you to watch out for. Fundamental, 3 circle first. At your level, focus at this one. A little bit further, competitor. When you go to business plan, they will ask you VOB, VOM. Voice of business, voice of market. Is there an existing market? Is there a new market? What is your return on investment? I give you $1, can you give me $1,000 back? That's what we're talking about. Right? So now, after that, we need to look at the suppliers, investors, and regulators. All these are critical factors that you have to consider. So I don't know how many of you ready. I'll give you some statistics. In Malaysia, only 1.5% of our graduates attempt to become entrepreneurs. I mentioned at the beginning of my talk that I stayed in Silicon Valley, and the place that I go to is a place called Stanford University. Do you know what is the entrepreneurship attempt by the graduate?
60. 60.
50%. Half of their class would go out there wanting to be their boss. The other half would go out there dreaming to work for Google and Facebook. But do you want to try? When is the best time to try? Have you ever asked yourself, when is the best time to try?
Now.
Now?
Now.
Or when you're like me? I want you to try when you are 15-year-old, but still not too late. I want you to try. There's nothing wrong failing now, because no family, no children will be affected. Can you do 2 things for me? Go work for somebody and also start a business. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
I want to make you successful, right? Because I want you to work harder. Are you working 20 hours a day?
No, yes.
No need to eat.
Or are you playing game 20 hours a day?
No.
Come on, don't cheat. Huh?
Doing assignment.
So this I will leave the last slide. Right?
Quotes.
So these are the 3 things that drives me in my last 55 years. Huh? One is Asa Chandler. He is the Coca-Cola guy. And he talks about every human life is made to fit some places. And you have a place in this world to make a difference. That's what I'm saying. Second is Walt Disney. If you want to do something, dream. If you can dream it, you can make it happen. And lastly, the guy that actually impacts me the most is whatever is your history, don't let it stop you. Go off and do something wonderful. All right, go off and do something wonderful. That's what I want you all to do. It's not too late. I want you to try, work twice as hard, study for exam, and a bunch of you get together and try. Lost investment, never mind, because you need to fail 4,999 times. Right? Because unless you go to trace class.
We got, yeah.
Right? So with this, last but not least, thank you. And you can reach me here. This is my personal email and my phone number. Please take it down. Any one of you need help, email me, call me. If not, you contact Dr. Yu. You can tell me everything.
Auto generator.
All right. Any question? I'll leave something for questions, and then I'll pass it back to Dr. Lai. Okay, yeah? 10 minutes. Question? No question? Oh, okay. No question to ask? Yes, sir. The question is, what was it like working for Intel? Let me tell you the truth. Intel was a pressure cooker. Okay, if anybody tells you that Intel is a wonderful place to work, yes. But when you're inside there, you are stressed every day. Why is that so? Because you need to put the company number one. Innovation is not like one day one. We are expected to come up with 300 ideas a year. Do you like that? Every day go to work must come out one idea. Do you think it's easier? Same. On the outside, you have fun, right? On the back room, I used to work minimum 16 hours a day. What time I get up?
6.
4 o'clock in the morning.
4.
Why do I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Breakfast, exercise.
Because I need to interface with the US.
Oh.
Because the US is afternoon. So I have to wake up early. What time is it? 9 o'clock. All my friends laugh at me. Antisocial. Boring guy, okay? This is how you're going to be. Now you make a lot of difference. Today we feel proud bringing Wi-Fi to the world. We feel proud bringing notebook to the world. We feel proud enabling so many things, but nobody knows. We only know ourselves. The one that hates you the most is your life partner.
Yeah.
Because she or he will always complain, where are you going to come home? So that's going to be a complaint. Huh? So be very
She.
So
She's a she.
when are you going to
She is a she, okay?
And another part, the good part about working for Intel is it gives you global opportunity. I never lived in a single address for a few years, for 20 years. Every 2 years, I move. But then, now I try to stay put. Right? So that's where it is. Stressful, a lot of experience, but would I do it? Yes. Because you were at the leading edge of the world. You were at the leading edge of the world, and every day, nobody is doing what you're doing. That, yes, sir. The question that he asked is, the first question was, how is it like working in Intel? The second question is, since you say it's stressful, it's a contradiction. On one side, it's bad. On the other side, you see the world and you do leading edge thing. It's good. And his question is, oh, how long do you recommend? When I come to KL, the longest that anybody holds a job is 24 months. I hold a job for 22 years. But I move within the company every 24 months. The trick is, if you work for somebody, go in when it is at stage 2. A lot of you are TRIZ guys, right? Go in when you are stage 2. Why is that so?
What's stage 2? What is
stage 2? Product life cycle.
Okay.
Imagine there is a product life cycle. Stage 1 is when the product is still at infancy. Stage 2 is when the product grows rapidly. Stage 3 is when the product hits maturity. And stage 4 is when the product dies off. So the place, if I were to advise you, I joined Intel when Intel was stage 2. The stocks that the company gave me split 5 times. And that puts us into a very good foundation, money-wise. I came with 2 million. Today, I'm in a good position. Why? It's because of their company. If I were to join AMD, not to say AMD is bad, you also enjoy growth for those people who join at stage 2. But if you join a mature company, you will not get the stock option and that will not grow with the company. But making a company grow is hard because it's hard work. But when the hard work has hard return, there's good return. I hope that explains it. Yes. So you need to know which company you want to work for. The best is work for your own company now. The best is work for your own company. work for any company in warehouse, today you need to spot who is a growing customer. Which company in technology is growing rapidly? Which technology company is growing rapidly?
Pokemon Go.
You don't need to go back to homework. Okay, last question. Last question for today. I know Dr. Lai wants to take over. Last question. Anyone are curious about anything?
Okay.
Not you. Somebody else.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, what's your perspective on creativity? Since that the creativity comes naturally on someone else, but
The question is, what's my view on creativity? He is of the school that say that creativity is born with.
yeah,
Alright, so I'm a believer of God. God gave everybody 2 hands, 2 eyes, and a brain. Everybody has the numbers of cells. Creativity is not born with. There are 3 to 4% of the people who are naturally creative. But are you saying that 97% are not creative?
stupid.
No, not true. I happen to do a lot of work, fortunately, unfortunately, with TRIZ. I happen to now understudy a man who doesn't speak English, but he speaks Russian. His name is Anatoly Gil. This man takes TRIZ and try to understand how to make children creative so that they become successful in the future. And he discovered a secret. A lot of the successful scientists and innovators, when they were young, their early education stage, they were not so successful. Why is that so?
Not good in memorization.
Go back and think about it, right? And why do they become successful later part in their life?
Passion?
Okay, it comes across when 3 things align. When they find a dream that they want to do in there, which is the change they want to drive, that is a dream. And when their passion is aligned to that dream, the commitment will come. When that happens, you will be the most creative person at that time. And you will be able to bring everything that you can to the world in your most creative way. 3 things must come together. Passion, change, commitment. Creativity, critical thinking. Critical thinking is many to one. Creative thinking is one to many. There are tools. We'll give you the tools. Come to our class. I'll give you all the tools. 9 windows, forecasting tools. All will make you creative. Not to worry. Willing to equip yourself. Remember I said? Equip yourself. Make yourself creative. But align 3 things. The change you want to do, this is your dream. You are passionate that this is what you want to do. And third, commit to it. If you commit to it, you will have. Alright, I'm sure there's a lot more questions. Right? I will be here, pass it back to Dr. Lai here. I think he has more lectures to go. And again, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Ibu. I think you can see that he shared a lot of very useful and actually very interesting points. I think some of you actually can see some of you actually get inspired from his talk. And actually something I think he was also is a very modest person. I think he share with you. He's the main driver for TRIZ in Malaysia. He started TRIZ in Malaysia. And also